Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. My name is Ryan. I would say welcome back to the channel, but the first and only video that I ever filmed for this channel I have since deleted. I filmed the first video for this channel over a year ago. I didn't really know what I was going to do on this channel. I didn't even show my face in the first video. And I still don't know what I'm going to do with this channel, so it's going to be kind of like Seinfeld, the show about nothing, because there's so many things I want to do and I can do, but I really lack focus, and I feel like I could do a ton of things, but short of being the kind of everyday channel for guys that don't know what they're doing, I don't know what else to focus on. Maybe I'll find a groove at some point. I wanted to start off today admitting that the only reason that I'm filming this and kind of thinking about uploading a video to YouTube, this may not actually get posted. I kind of convinced myself today that I would absolutely film this today, regardless if I actually post it. I've driven over to my grandmother's house, and I'm sitting in my car in her driveway, kind of doing this in secret from my wife because I think I'm kind of embarrassed that I'd actually, or she'd be interested in this, and she may be a subscriber, one of the 4 that I have, I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know where this is going to end up, but I've got so many interests and so many hobbies, and I think I could contribute to a lot of things as far as computer building and technology, but I also have been pretty good with my hands as far as construction and woodworking. I used to be good with metal. But most importantly, the reason that has prompted me to kind of film this video and start this channel again is really my 2 daughters. My wife and I, we have a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old, and I have gotten us in such horrible debt that we are struggling beyond all recognition. And I kind of wanted to talk about debt today. This isn't going to be a debt or finance channel because, I feel like we don't need to be that depressing on YouTube today. But, I'll own up to how or why we got here. We had a significant change of income 2 years ago. We went from me earning 6 figures. I think I almost nearly cut my salary in half. I left a position that I was unhappy with for a position that paid less but was ultimately more fulfilling for me. And my wife left her job after the birth of our first child, and we don't really have any ability for childcare. So she couldn't go back to work. We cut our salary, our income in half within the matter of months, and my spending habits and our spending habits were not the best at the time. We didn't have any savings, and we were enjoying life, and I think it was a combination of the fact that we were making the most money we had ever been making since we've been together. And just pure stupidity on my part. When you're living high for the first time ever, you kind of maybe you don't, but I did. You kind of think that the ride's never going to end, and smarter people than me may have been sacking away money and paying down debt and preparing for their future, but I didn't do that. And after we cut our salary in half, we still had the bills and the expenses of our lifestyle from when we were making more. So this isn't really a sob story. I mean, boo-hoo guy was making a lot of money, and then he voluntarily chose to leave a higher paying job, and now he kind of is complaining about lack of money. But the fact of the matter is, I feel like what happened to me could happen to anyone else. So if anything from this video, you take it as a warning to not live like me, to not live like I did, to never put yourself in a position to end up where I am now, because quite frankly, I can't imagine a fate worse than being in debt and having debt collectors calling you every single day and not quite sure of a solution. I'm sitting in this car filming this YouTube video because some sick, twisted part of me thinks that maybe I could become semi-successful on YouTube, because every person thinks they can become a YouTuber and make it rich. And if anything, I want to do things outside of YouTube and film it for YouTube to see if they can kind of complement each other. But I'm not sure if I would have the guts to go through with this, film this, and post this if I weren't thinking about my children and trying to find a way out, because there isn't anything that I wouldn't do for them. And every single day that I am struggling with the consequences of having debt and debt collectors call, and consequences of the choices that I made, I am putting their future in jeopardy, and I can't do that anymore. So as it stands right now, we're about to celebrate the new year. New Year's Eve is tomorrow. Kind of a rundown of where we are financially. Tomorrow's payday, which is great for me. I still am employed. And I do make a decent living by most people's standards. But as the sole source of income and the consequences of the lifestyle we were leading, we have more monthly expenses than we do income, and it's been like that for over 2 years now. And when you have more expenses than you have income, you're never going to stop the bleeding. We've made it this far through the help of friends of mine that have helped in here and there, that I still owe them money back. We've kicked the can down the road, a mortgage payment here, a mortgage payment there. I have sold nearly everything that I can sell of value. All of my high life living items, the electronics, the technology, the things I bought when we were earning twice the income we're earning now, when we were both working, I have sold everything for pennies on the dollar. It wasn't worth it. All the Sonos speakers, the projector that I had, everything that I accumulated in the course of us living large, I sold for half of what I paid for it or less. Selling online is literally the second worst experience of my life, short of dealing with debt collection phone calls every single day. You buy something brand new, you take it out of the box, you take care of it, you treat it right, and then you go to sell it and you get offers for a fifth of what you paid for it, even if it's only a few months old. And the people that act extremely entitled online, as if I owe them something for selling them, that I have the privilege of selling them my possessions at a fraction of the price, and that I'm insulting them if I don't go through with it. Or the gentleman that showed up to buy the brand new tool chest that I had purchased from Lowe's, for already less than half of what I paid for it and never used, and then showed up after agreeing on a price and then lowballed me again after we had already agreed on the price. That was fun as well. So as it stands today, there we go. What is that? $15 in my checking account and $6 in my savings. That is the father of 2 daughters and the husband to a loving wife. That is a family of 4. That is all we have between us and the street. Like I said, payday is tomorrow. And quite frankly, I am extremely tired of constant overdraft fees. I don't know what to do about that. I have several bills that auto withdrawal, and some of them are debts and credit cards, and I can't, if I stop paying those, then, or if I take those off of auto withdrawal, then I'm just going to be in as debt with those as the other cards that have already gone to collections. So Bank of America gets their $35 every time I spend $1 over accidentally. But so this year we didn't have enough money to pay our property taxes, so the county that we live in sold the rights to our property taxes at an auction. So I'll have to deal with that. We don't lose our home right away, but if I don't pay it within the next year, then I think we potentially lose our home or something along those lines. I was too depressed to kind of look further into it. We were nearly unable to pay our property taxes last year, but I sold one of my cars that I never intended to sell. It was a car that my mother helped me purchase before she passed away. It had a lot of sentimental value, so I ended up selling that to pay our property taxes last year. This year, those are just unpaid, and those are unpaid alongside a lot of other of our bills. But I kind of wanted to talk about the mental, emotional, and physical toll that being in debt takes on a person. I'm scared of everything every single day. I'm scared of my phone. I'm scared of the doorbell. I'm scared of the mail. I'm scared of my email. Every single phone call is potentially a debt collector. I get 1-800 numbers. I get debt collector numbers. I get private callers. There's a huge difference between the creditors calling you multiple times a day to try to set up payment arrangements, and then the actual debt collectors after they've sold the debt. They'll try various tricks, private numbers withheld, etc. My favorite was a few months ago when I answered my work number and they had called me at work. So here I am in a situation that I'm trying to get myself out of, and I've got debt collectors calling me at my place of business. So you're trying to not lose a job in this economy and this pandemic, and then your debt collectors are calling you at work. And I don't know if anyone watching this has ever dealt with a debt collector or creditors calling you, but at least for me, it's a huge emotional toll. I could be trying to shut down at the end of the day, watching TV with my wife in the dark in our living room, and at 8:45, 8:55, a creditor will call. I think they're allowed to call up till 9 p.m. at night. But after a long day of work and stress and dealing with the emotions that come with being in constant fear of every doorbell, every postal delivery, everything, and then it's 9 o'clock, nearly 9 o'clock at night, you're getting ready for bed, and the phone rings, and it's a debt collector. You're never free of the stresses of remembering your current situation. I kind of wanted to show you guys at least one creditor that calls me 3 times a day. I know it's a robocall, auto dialer, so it's not like somebody's picking up the phone and physically dialing. But if I were to answer, they would connect me to somebody. But it's always, we're calling on behalf of blah, blah, blah on a recorded line. And it's like, yeah, it's recorded, because you have to prove that I'm a loser who answered the phone and admits to owing the debt. I signed up for the USPS Informed Delivery years ago, and it was, really nice to be able to see a preview of your mail and get notified of tracking information for packages and whatnot. That's turned against me now, because I'll get an email informed delivery that I can expect a package on Tuesday, and I check the type of mail and it's certified mail. So you've got the fear and anxiety of knowing that you have potentially a certified letter from a debtor or from a debt owner sending you something 3 or 4 days in advance. It just ruins every single day. You're like, what is it going to be? What company is it going to be from? Until that day arrives and you get home from work or whatever, and you get the mail and you see it's this company. The letters from my mortgage company saying that they could foreclose, or so on and so forth. So you just live in constant fear. That's all I can say, is that short of having the freedom of not having nightmares of being in debt, there's days where my phone rings 10 to 15 times a day from different companies. There's letters in the mail every single day. I get emails, and it's one of those things, like I said, I did to myself. I put myself in this position, but I don't see an easy way out. Somebody told me recently that the only way to fix the situation is to increase my income or decrease my spending, and we've cut everything. We don't have Netflix, we don't have Hulu, we don't have Disney Plus. We have the internet, something for my family to have in their home so that, I can, even when I work remote, I'm shutting off lights. I'm keeping the temperature on the thermostat lower to not use as much gas. I don't know how else to decrease my debts or my spending. Every month the minimum payments are more than what I take in. So how do I increase my spending? Well, before the pandemic, my father and I have run a photo booth business for weddings for years, and there haven't been any weddings. But I've typically taken home at least $4,000 to $6,000 a year on average from the photo booth, and I've paid my property taxes. I've taken out a large sum of money as salary from the business every summer and paid my property taxes with it. So that wasn't an option this year. Before the pandemic, I was doing an occasional DoorDash. Wasn't my favorite thing to do because it's a high stress position, and the wear on the vehicle, the family vehicle, and the pay wasn't the greatest. But I don't know what to do being higher risk. I could go find a job somewhere in addition to my daily job that puts me at risk, and then I die, and then my family has nothing as far as income goes. That weighs heavily on my mind. Maybe with the vaccines coming out, I'll have an opportunity to do a second job. But in the meantime, I've been thinking about trying to build things. There was a Reddit post a few months back where an individual was building workbenches, and he would build them out of 2x4s and plywood, and he listed the parts breakdown and how much he spent and how much he was selling them for, and he had made a significant profit over the course of several months. So I'm thinking about, why not me? I can build these. I can try to sell them. I don't know if it's a pipe dream, if I'll actually even build or sell one, but I want to try. The problem is that I need to upgrade the lighting in my garage, so I'm going to film that. I have no heating in the garage, so that'll be interesting. I don't have any money for this whatsoever, and any penny I spend on this will be taking a penny away from paying off my other responsibilities. But I have had less income than I owe every single month for 2 years, and I can't figure out a way to change the course, to steer the ship in the right direction. I need to increase my income, and I need to find a way to do that. So if I spend money, $100 and some on plywood and 2x4s, and build a workbench and sell it for more than I spent on the wood, I've invested my time in a product that I can sell and make a profit from. I have a circular saw, I have a drill, I have some experience. I don't know what else I'll need, but I can't spend any more money on tools or anything for now. A drop saw would be great, but let me build one. I'm going to build one, and I'm going to try to sell one for a profit, and we'll see where this channel goes from there. I used to be a really good welder, and I'm thinking about buying, if I sell a few of these workbenches out of wood, I'm thinking about buying an entry-level welder and maybe building some metal shelving and metal workbenches. It'll be really interesting to see it'll be really interesting to see if I can pick up welding again, because I used to be really good at it, or at least that's what my teacher told me. So we'll see if somebody who hasn't welded in a decade can pick it back up and make a profit and make a change for his family's life. So this video turned into a long rant. I had a lot of things in my mind for what I wanted to say in this video, and how I wanted to express how draining it is to be in debt. And I can go into more details. I plan on going into more details about how much I owe, who I owe, why I owe, and I don't know, short of filing for bankruptcy at this point. I did it to myself. I put myself here. I can't you know, if anyone wants to take away anything from this video, it's that I'm not complaining about my situation, that I own it, that I put myself here. I spent more money than I should have. We lost income. I chose happiness for a position, and I guess I'm in the position to try to fix our finances. I owe a lot of money to a lot of people. I owe a lot of money to a lot of friends who have been very gracious to me. They've kept a roof over my head. They've filled in the gaps where they can. One of my friends cut me off, which is a blessing and a curse, because he was keeping me from collecting those overdraft fees every month. I'd be low on money and he'd fill in the gap until the next pay period, and I had kind of grown dependent on those, and one day he told me no more, and I respect that. The unfortunate side effect is now that I just give Bank of America, you know, $100 and some a month in overdraft fees, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I want to show you guys my garage, my work area that I plan on converting into a workshop, and we'll go from there, guys. My original video for this channel had a lot of projects that I wanted to work on. I was showing off a Camaro that I don't own anymore, and a lot of things have changed since I filmed that video. One thing that hasn't changed is that I procrastinate way too much, and I'm tired of losing sleep over my lifestyle and my fear of debt collectors, and I feel like I've been stuck. I don't know if anyone else ever feels really stuck, but maybe filming this video is the first step in unstucking myself and making a change, because what I've been doing hasn't been working. I've been physically, I've gained 80 pounds from stress eating, and I haven't slept a good night in 2 years, and I've finally reached a point where I've had enough, and I want to not be here anymore with all this fear. Debt collection and being in debt affects every single aspect of your life, whether you want it to or not, and it is so very draining. So please spend your money wisely as best you can, and don't put yourself in this position. So I'm going to show you guys my garage, and we'll, dress up in 87 layers of clothes soon, and maybe build a workbench and see. So there you have it. There is my completely full of garbage garage. There's still things that I need to sell in here to try to help my financial situation. The smoker I need to keep cleaning out to get that for sale. And I have a mini fridge and an outdoor patio heater that I'm going to sell. There's a missing light socket there that needs to be replaced so that I can upgrade the lighting in here, because this doesn't get much brighter than this. And all of this stuff is my mother's and my childhood stuff. My mother passed away 13 years ago, and this is everything that was in her house that we decided to save years ago. So a lot of sentimental stuff in there, a lot of garbage in there, and it's just going to be a difficult one for me to go through. I know I can't throw it all out because some of those are very important memories, but some things maybe I can throw out. I used to have all this in a storage locker, but I was paying $200 a month for it, so now it's here taking up space. So that's not vodka, that's gasoline from a snowblower I sold that I was trying to drain the old gasoline out of, so that just needs to go in the garbage. But maybe right here I can build some workbenches and try to fix fixed my life a little bit. So I just wanted to thank you guys for watching this first video. I know it was a long talking head video, but maybe the next video you'll see me installing some lights and trying to build something. So everything I said in this video is true and sincere, and I hope that I can get into more detail in separate videos about the do's and don'ts of ending up in this kind of situation financially. But I feel like there's a lot of people out there struggling right now. You know, Congress is talking about helping the unemployed and fighting over $600 or $2,000, and it's like, you know, people like me where I had additional income and that was affected from the pandemic with the photo booth business and things like that, kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit because I'm not going to collect unemployment from a side business that my father and I barely, you know, made a lot of money or barely made any money on, but a little bit did help, you know. And it's like, I'm not going to be out doing DoorDash right now because I'm afraid of what it'll do to my health. So there's different ways that this pandemic affects people short of just completely losing their jobs or not. And I'm kind of in a situation that I feel like a lot of people might be in. So maybe you guys can, you know, kind of relate and we can go forward from there. So I've been trying to think of a cool sign off. I've been watching a lot of Mav on YouTube lately, and you know, he's always keeping on trucking. And since my channel's name is Unfinished Plans, you know, because I have a lot of unfinished plans that I haven't gotten to, I was thinking of, like, you know, from Rocky, there is no tomorrow, but it's kind of doom and gloom. So I'll work on it, but maybe you guys will have some recommendations for a good sign off in the comments. So thanks for your time. See you in the next one. Bye.